Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to construct the horizontal sections of a pyramid. So what you want to do with this exercise is you want to begin with a vertical line and your horizontal axis. And just like with previous shapes, we're going to be placing the ellipse and using the ellipse as our basis to construct the pyramid first. So I'm just marking the height and the width of the ellipse right now. And just marking the proportions of the pyramid right there. So just trying to find the height. And then just going in, carefully drawing in the ellipse. And then once the ellipse is in place, then what I want to do is I want to try and find the tangencies, okay? So I'm going to be drawing the rotation of the base, just like we do with the cube. So you can see here I'm doing that right now, like I'm drawing a line that's tangent with the ellipse and a line underneath it that's tangent with the other side, and they're both traveling to a distant vanishing point. There's the center of the ellipse, there's the line that crosses through the center, which helps me find the tangencies of those lines that are traveling to the other vanishing point, okay? So currently sketching those in. And I'm not being too careful about it, you know, like this is just a sketch. I'm just kind of estimating where those lines are traveling to. I'm not obsessing over it. So finding the center of the base, making sure everything is correct. And then I'm drawing lines from the top of the vertical line to all four corners of the base. And that's how you construct the pyramid. So very easy shape to draw. So just putting in that last line right there now, and there we go. So there's the pyramid. And now what I have to do is I have to section it into horizontal sections. So I'm just kind of choosing an arbitrary placement. I'm not placing the section anywhere in particular. So I'm starting on that side, coming across, and the moment I hit that corner, the moment I hit that edge, that's where the plane changes, okay? So that's where the direction of the line changes. And that is how you construct the horizontal sections. So it's a very easy section to do. Horizontal sections of pyramids are always going to appear square. And I do that as I travel up the form. So I'm drawing another horizontal section above it. And then again, I'm using those diagonals to find the center, and I'm just sort of cross-checking my work, making sure everything is aligning correctly. So drawing another section in there now. There we go. Drawing lines from corner to corner, making sure it crosses through the vertical core until I basically get to the top. And placing in the last one right now. Now, when you're checking your work, make sure that all those angles are traveling to a distant vanishing point, okay? So they should be sort of converging very slightly. And the diagonals too. The diagonals should also be converging. It's not very noticeable, but it is there, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And same on those angles. So this is a very good technique to use if you just want to make sure that your perspective is looking good. It's a great way to cross-check. So just cleaning up the lines a little bit. And just refining some of those edges. So I'm just refining the form now. It's looking pretty good. And then from this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do just a little bit of light shading, just like I always do. I like to shade the sections when I do this exercise, just because it makes them just a little bit more visible, actually. And it makes the drawing more interesting too. So just very light hatching strokes. I'm just using one layer of hatching for each section. And that is how you section the pyramid horizontally. Okay, so in this video lesson, we're going to be having a look at how to construct the vertical sections of a pyramid. And these sections actually require a little bit more construction. So I'm going ahead and I'm starting, as always, with my vertical and horizontal axes. And what I'm doing is I'm dividing the distance between the base and the top of the vertical line into 3 equal parts to get my proportions. And the width of the ellipse is equal to 2 of those parts, okay? So opening up the ellipse and then just kind of slowly coming around and constructing it. And, you know, it's always a good idea to just kind of take your time on the ellipses just to make sure that they look good and you can work with them. If you're using a dodgy ellipse, then you're going to end up with a very dodgy perspective drawing. And as always, just kind of figuring out the tangent. So finding out the tangent that I want, looking at where that's going to travel on the other side, so it hits about there. And that is basically the perspective that I'm going to be working with. Drawing that center line to find the tangent lines that are perpendicular to the last 2 that I've drawn, and sketching those in. And then finding the center of the base by drawing 2 lines from corner to corner of the square that I've just drawn. So the method is largely the same whenever we construct these geometric forms. And same as last time, just drawing from all 4 corners of the base to the tip of the pyramid. And whenever you're drawing straight lines, just remember to keep moving your arm and not your wrist. You can definitely use your wrist to draw some of the smaller lines and some of the smaller details. But generally, you want to keep that arm moving around and you want to keep your wrist still. That's how you end up with better line quality. So now I'm just drawing the cross sections of the pyramid. So these are the vertical sections that cross through each other through the center, and they travel towards the tip of the pyramid. So those are the vertical sections there that travel through the center. But we're going to be constructing vertical sections that are offset from the center. So you'll see me do that now. I'm placing 2 points on one side of the pyramid, and those points travel to the edge of the base. And these are going to be my starting points for constructing the vertical sections. So from the center of those points, I draw a vertical line that travels to that center section that it corresponds with. So you can see where those verticals touch that line. And then where from that line, I actually draw another line that travels to the edge of the pyramid there. And right here, I'm constructing that vertical section. And that's how you do it. And you'll see me do it again here. So from that point, connect those points from the base to the line that travels up there. And that's what that vertical section looks like. So it requires a little bit more construction, but it's still quite easy to understand. And right here, just doing a little bit of light shading as always, just shading in those sections just to kind of help them, make them stand out a bit more. And just use like 1 layer of hatching strokes for each section. You don't want to shade it too much. You still want the line work to be visible. Now I'm shading in that center section right there. way to the tip of the pyramid. And that is basically complete. That's how you construct vertical sections of the pyramid. Easy peasy. Okay, so welcome to the next video lesson. This time we're going to be continuing on with the pyramids, but in this one we're going to be creating a tilted section. So I'm going to show you the method of how to actually do that. So as always, beginning with your ellipse, and then you inscribe a square around that ellipse in perspective. Okay, so starting with the vertical and horizontal axes, carefully drawing the ellipse in. And once the ellipse is drawn, you then want to decide on what kind of perspective you want to draw this object in. So I'm taking one side of the measurement of the ellipse and placing that on the vertical axis 3 times in order to keep this pyramid in proportion. And from there, I start drawing in the tangent lines. And those lines are traveling to a distant vanishing point. I then draw the center line through the ellipse, which will help me to locate the exact angle that the perpendicular line should be traveling in, as you can see there. And same again, they're just traveling to a far off vanishing point. Drawing the diagonals that cross each other from corner to corner in order to find the center. And from there, drawing 4 lines that travel from the corners of the base to the tip of the pyramid. So in order to draw these tilted sections, what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to draw the cross sections of the pyramid. And here I'm placing in the first cross section here. So this is the vertical cross section. And as always, the cross sections travel from the tip of the pyramid. There we go, that one's drawn. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm choosing a cross section and I'm placing 2 points on the same section and I'm drawing an angled line through it. And then I'm marking where it crosses the vertical core of the pyramid. And you can see here that these angles are traveling in to the same vanishing point as well. So I'm projecting these angles on the sides of the pyramid now. So I've placed 2 points on that section there. Watch as I place 2 points on the edges, along the edges of the pyramid there. And same on the section above there. And I'm just marking all of those points. And what you do is if you draw a straight line, that line should cross all of those points, as you can see. And that is your tilted section. That's how it's created. If you continue those lines, they will meet at a point that is not on the object itself, okay? So it's an auxiliary point. But that's how you know you've done it correctly. So here I am shading it in, and that section is pretty much complete, and that's how you draw tilted sections.